Hey guys, I popped Batman out here for a minute just because he's a huge big fish and it's very easy to see the difference on him between breeding stars or tubercles and pieces of new wen growth. And he's got both now at the moment. You can see the big lumpy head on him. Now, wen growth, that's wen up there on the top. That is fatty tissue. It's perfectly normal for it to grow in goldfish, and around this like this, you'll get quite a bit of it. Now, Batman has both breeding tubercles and wen spurts at the moment. They're spots of new wen growth. He's not entirely impressed in being stuck in this, so I'll get him out of here quick enough. But you can see those dots on his gill, not the big one, not the big one in the middle, that big one in the middle. Let's see if we can focus on it a little bit better. That big one right in the center there, that is a little bit of new wen growth. The wen's reached the surface, it's broken through, and just kind of like the way your fingers might go a little bit funny in the bath after a while, kind of similar. It's like the tissues start to break down a little bit, and that'll disappear after a while, but there'll be a lump of new wen where that was. So that, and you can see the spurt of it around his eye there. Actually, you can take a closer look at that, sticking out there. You see sometimes it sticks right out and it looks really unsightly and weird, and sometimes you can think, oh my god, it's a parasite. Don't be worried about that. That's a bit of new wen growth now, and you can see lumps of it on the front of his face as well there, really clearly, just on his cheeks, just beside his mouth. A big lump there. Now, along the front of his fin there, let's see if it'll hold still for a second. Unlikely. He's like, no. I hold still for no one. So the front of his fin is all white. It's all like it's encrusted in salt. Those little tiny white dots and the white dots on his gill, they're breeding tubercles or breeding stars. Basically, that is a result of him being interested in breeding. His hormones would create those. Now on a younger fish, on a younger male fish, females won't get them as much, rare to get them. Not to say that they never get them, but males will get them when they're ready to breed. And then they'll go away kind of during the non-breeding season, during the winter. An older fish like Batman, now Batman's about 3.5, but his breeding stars are locked in. Some goldfish might be a little bit older before their breeding stars are locked in. But they're always there. Kind of always ready, aren't you? You big chunky beast. But you can see that big lump on the front of his face, and those white patches on the front of his face as well. That's where the wen is just getting bigger. Now, sometimes it'll be a big white patch like that, and sometimes it's going to be those crazy little funny looking spurts, like what you can see on the back of his cheek, under his eye, and at the front of his face there. That's it, guys. There's Batman, showing what it takes to become a big, handsy, chunky fish like this. He's got his breeding stars, he's got his lumps of new wen growth. It's funny, that big lump on top of his head, that started off like those white dots, and it just got bigger and bigger and more. It was smooth, and now he's got little it's changing all the time. Actually, it's crazy. And sometimes what'll happen is you'll see a piece like that push up through, and it'll break off the wen around it. That happens more in fish that have less smooth wen, that have kind of real lumpy wens. That's it, guys. Quick look at the difference between breeding stars or tubercles and new wen growth. Talk to you later. Bye.